Hi and welcome to this week's episode of Win or Bust in Education. A couple of articles this week that I've read in the TES. I'll put the links below so you can go and read the same articles that I actually refer to. But one of them is, should maths and languages be compulsory at A level? The answer to that, no. That's a bust idea. So win or bust, my opinion, okay? But happy to take people's other opinions and to change my mind. I think it's a bust. I think it's too late. See, I'm a fan that with maths in particular and English, if at the end of the year 9 you've met a certain standard, I don't see the point in carrying on, because the person who's going to go on and do it in A level is pretty much not someone who's going to drop it at the end of year 9. I do believe you have, whether you sit down and do something, so you do your year 9, you pass a certain level, which means that you can read and write with competency, and you can do your maths in your head. And so if you walked into a shop and it's at 25% off, you could pretty much work it out. I believe that part of that is all to do with your bills and your mortgages and stuff like that, and understanding all that. Now you might turn around and say, oh, actually year 9 is too young for that side of things. Well, it's not, because what you're doing is teaching them a really good life skill, and then in year 10 and 11 we're going to work on getting them a job. We're going to prevent them from becoming a NEET when they leave school. So that would allow time for those who maybe didn't quite get there in year 9 to try again in year 10. You're also going to have the great bonus of the fact that they could go and learn construction, electricity, becoming an electrician, plumbing, bricklaying, all those fantastic trades out there that we're now short of. It'd be really important to do that. I think it'd be more responsible as in education to make sure that this happens. Okay, if they want to go on and they want to do geography, history, various things like that, okay, that's great. They are really, really good points. Same as design and technology, the same as cooking. Lots of schools have gardening in there now. Really, really good areas. And the same with science, is to have a really good understanding of science and how things work. But those who want to go on for the English and the maths and everything, then it's their choice. And surely it's their choice that they want to carry on. And the English and the maths teachers are going to have kids in there who literally do want it. They're aiming, in a particular different direction to others. There's no need dragging it out to students who have got what they need for the rest of their lives. Those students who continue to do it haven't got what they need for the rest of their lives. And if at some point in the future they change their mind, they can go back to college. Just my thought. I also think, on the language point of view, here's a language that I think everybody should learn, and that's sign language. I think BSL, British Sign Language, is really key. I suppose you've also got international sign language as well, which there is a bit of difference in there. But I do think going forward, I think it's a great language to learn. And I'm one of those that, now I am the age I am, my one thing I would go back to now and do would learn languages. Sign language would be one. I'd want to learn Makaton. I really, really would. But I'd also like to do a few languages as well. And apart from my French, which was a standard, I would have liked to have done more. And so again, it's choice. And if I want to learn them languages, I am doing a sign language course at the moment because I really want to learn it now. Then it'll stand me in good stead. But to have learned it at school, it'd have been absolutely brilliant. So should maths and languages be compulsory at A level? No. No. It's like say you will do this. I think it'll put the students off going to A level. I think they'd rather go off and do something else that's going to lead to the career that they are aiming for. And if they don't know a career, of exactly what they're aiming for. They might have a couple of areas they like, and that would be two subjects too much if they wanted to try and then say, do you know what, I'm going to drop that one because I love this and I want to go in that pathway, you know, as they get older. So for me, as a question, it's a bust. Also, another article, again, the post will be below. Disciplinary literacy. Okay, so I've read this article because I hadn't heard of it, and I thought I'll have a read, and I think I've got it right. I've got the gist of it. And is it a win or a bust from me? Do you know what? I think in a way it's a renamed. It's renamed. I've seen it before. You know, the first part about coming back and checking and, you know, and getting students to repeat and stuff. It's repetitive learning. It's the best way of learning, in my opinion, and should never have ever been dropped from the curriculum, you know, at all, on the way of learning your spellings week in, week out, learning your times tables week in, week out. So if you know your times tables, you can do your percentages, you can do your decimals, you know, fractions and so on. I think it's such an important thing to learn your times tables and repetitive learning. You know, I go back to the days when you used to have your times tables test, and I'm hoping a few people watching this will remember them days. And you go on about abilities and stuff today and go, they wouldn't, you know, because it's so fancy the way that we're teaching them, everyone, that there is a group that don't get it. So let's teach them the way they know. And if it's repetitive learning is how they learn and do it. You know, 6 times 6 is 36, and I use this one because it's my favourite. It's my favourite number. Don't know why. Probably because I got 12 out of 12 for my 6 times table, and I got to walk around school and get sweets from every teacher and taking my test book. And I mean, don't even allowed to do that nowadays. You're allowed to give kids sweets. I hope so. But disciplinary literacy is repetitive learning. I get the understanding bit and bringing it into subjects. Now we're into cross-curriculum learning. So we've already got that as well. So I think as a name, I think it's a bust. I think it's already being done. I think it is about cross-curriculum learning. I do think it's repetitive learning. So in that case, then it's a win. So I'm confused on that one. The naming is a bust. The principles behind it is a win. The bios will be down. Now, literally, honestly, give me your views. Tell me I've got it wrong, I've misunderstood it. I don't mind. You know, literally, we're all learning together. I learn every week about SEN and some of the kids that we're helping and supporting, and they say things different. I mean, I saw an article, and do you know what, I should have used that this week, and it was about autism and being able to see that, you know, if you do this earlier on, you'll prevent it. I didn't know it was an illness. I didn't know people wanted curing. If you got autism, then the people I know with autism are ace. I don't see it as a problem. I think it's more about everybody else's acceptance that people have a definition. It's not a disease, but it's called autism, and it might prevent them from learning in particular ways, which has now just come back to me. Let's teach them the way that they learn. You know, I mean, I've seen this in maths where you do your lines and go across and you've got a dot and you times this and you times that as an actual proper way. Wow, really? Does it work? No, go back to traditional. Yeah, let's come on. Let's teach the kids the way that they learn. You know, literally, when I look at it and I look at the AP and some of the kids that we work with on there, if a particular way doesn't work for one kid, but it's working for everyone else, we will find the way that works for the one kid. It ain't rocket science. But I know it's hard when you've got 30 kids in a mainstream school and one teacher, you know, so it's easy for me to say what we do. Anyway, do you agree? with my wins and busts and learning British Sign Language as a compulsory course for everyone. I would even say teach Makaton in primary schools. There's a thought. And it can be done at all abilities without a doubt. All right, Simon Hall, win a bust, you agree? Take care. Stay safe.